Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to the lecture 18 part 2 of the introduction to computing course. Today we are going to see how to create a login and registration screen using Adobe XD. So in the previous class we developed a welcome screen. A lot of students were asking me about I should repeat how does a welcome screen is created, because there are some concepts that need repetition, and we are also going to create login screen and registration screen. So at the end of this lecture we will be able to create something like this. So we have a welcome screen, a login screen and a registration screen. So let me play what our app design will look like. So this is our login screen. So if I click on the login, so that in fact this is our welcome screen. If I click on login, so the login screen appears. Then I click back. If somebody is new user, he can click here and then he can perform the registration, and already registered, click here to login and we go back to the login screen, and you can go back from this back button. So this is what this app is all about. So with that, I'm going to close this prototype. I'm going to click on the home button, create a new file, and on our artboard is Google Pixel 3 XLS. So a lot of students were asking about about the masking. How does the masking work? So let me once again repeat it. Let me go to the learning app, and first you have to select any image. So I'm going to select this image, drag it and copy it here. So there you have it. You can increase the size as well. Okay, so now that you have an image, what you can do, let me increase it a little bit more. You can create this shape, rectangle shape, on top of this image. So let me create one. Okay, so then you have to select this rectangle screen and the background, hold down the shift key and then right click and mask with shape. So you are going to see that the area of the picture which was enclosed in this rectangular shape has been preserved, the other part has been deleted. So okay, with that, on top of this screen, I'm going to create another. In fact, I'm going to okay, we have this group. I'm going to create another rectangle. I'll adjust it later on. So let me adjust it. Okay, so now I'm going to okay, that's fine. I'm just going to change the color. I'm going to change the color to something like this, or maybe like this, and then we can create a logo. And once again, the rectangle area is selected, hold down shift key, and then we can rotate it, and then I'm going to bring it at the center, fill it with some color. Yeah, this looks fine. And then I'm going to create something like a logo, something like this. You can create anything. I'm going to use this repeat grid in order to create similar type of this rectangular shape, and then decrease the spacing between these rectangular shapes. That looks fine. And then I'm going to select this grid as well as this rectangular area. Then we can use this option, subtract. So you can see that it has subtracted that part of the lines which were over the diamond shape. Okay, so let me put a title over here. So once again, it's a Learn It app. Select it, increase the size, place it at the middle. I'm going to be little bit quick. Okay, fill it with something like black. Okay, that's looking fine. And then you can copy this text, paste it. Okay, here I'm going to say learn at your own pace, anytime, anywhere. Okay, I'm going to decrease the size. Okay, that is looking fine. And then at the bottom I'm going to say we have a login button. This is what we did in the previous class, but I'm just going to take 5 minutes in order to do it once again, because a lot of students were asking about like how to do masking and rest of the stuff. What is image blur? Okay, so login, I'm going to decrease the size to maybe 40. That's looking fine. You can put both of these. Okay, let me also fill it with some shape. Okay, so that's the login button. So I'm going to create a group, put both of these elements in a group, and then at the very bottom we are going to say new user, register here. Okay, and I'm going to decrease the size to 30. And we are going to make it light. Okay, I'm going to also bring this login button down here, and I'm also going to bring these elements at the bottom. Okay, that's looking fine. So this is our welcome screen, and I have already selected this rectangle tool. In order to apply a blur, you can click on this background blur. Now you see that the background image is visible. You can increase or decrease the amount of blurriness. You can see that for object blur, it's like I'm going to make it a background blur once again. So I think that's looking fine, and let us increase or decrease the opacity. Okay, so that is our login welcome screen. So but we have to also create the two other screen for login and for registration. So I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to move these elements at the top, and then I'm going to say here Okay, so I'm going to create a rectangle somewhere here. Let me duplicate it. Let me bring this text down here because I need a little space for. Okay, let me put detail. Let me just change the border. Now I'm going to duplicate it, bring it down. So one is for the user ID, this option. Let me here say user ID, and the other one is for the password. Okay, so I'm going to bring this user ID down here, and then I'm going to group them as well. Select both of them and press Ctrl G. Alright, so that is looking fine. You can always change the color of this input text to whatever you like, but I'll leave it to white. So this is the welcome screen, and this is your login screen, and the registration screen will also be very much similar to these two screens. So let me duplicate it, and then let me move them a little. Let me move them to the top. First I'm going to select them. Okay, let me put them in a group. Then I'm going to adjust them. Okay, now I think I have some space. And let me select the group. I think that's fine. So we have for registration, I can say, let us move this. So user ID, password, and you can see enter password again. Okay, so register, all ready, register, click here to login. Now I'm going to like I don't have space, so we are going to create some space. So let us move them a little to the top. Okay, so this text, I think I should reduce the size to 35, bring it in the center, and then put both of them in one group. Okay, I'm going to make it 20. Let me select it and I'm going to bring it down here. So this is what the registration um, interface looks like. So you have noticed that all of them are almost similar. Like you can copy a lot of uh, practices or a lot of elements to second or to the third screen. Now what we are going to do, we are going to like make a prototype. Prototype is just a dummy software. So when a user click here, so a user has to go to this login screen. So I'm going to click here and then you click and drag. So there you have it. I think I missed something. Let me go back to the design. We haven't added a back button over here. So let me add it now. So let me zoom in for this area. Select the pen tool. Right click. Hold down shift. Right click. Hold down shift. So you will have a perfect arrow shape. Again right click and then you can click escape. Now I'm going to add another line. So right click, that's fine. Again right click and click escape. I'm going to select both of them and the border color should be black and like it should be oval. I think that is fine. Okay, I still have, I think we have to increase the size. Okay, I'm going to first put them in a group and then we can increase the size. I think that's fine. I'm going to copy it and zoom out, paste it over here. So let me increase the size. Let me make it to I think 3. So now that's looking fine. Let me select it and make the size to 3. So that's looking fine. Now zoom out and select all of them. So okay, now we have back button. So let me once again go to the prototype, and if I click this or login button, I should move to this page. And if I click on this new user tab, okay, so we have different property for this transition dissolve. So I'm going to say a slide left, or I think I'm going to say slide right, and let me make it just none. And then yes, we have to tab. It's a transition type. I'm going to explain the rest of option later on. So when we click on new user register here, we are going to go to this screen, and then for this option we are also going to go to this screen. So click and drag. When we click the back button, we are going to go back to this welcome screen, and same for this back button. Okay, so the last thing, when we already registered, click here to login. So this should move us to the login page, and slide right, tab. Okay, so let me like now play it. So let me first select this screen. So we have now this login screen. So if I click on login, so we move to the login screen. if the user enter username and password, login, so he will be logging into the system. But if he or she clicks new user, so the system will take him or her to the registration screen. So let me click back. So we are back on this welcome screen. Let me click new user, register here. So once again we are on the registration screen. Already register, click here to login. So we are back to the login screen. So this is how it works. And if you have some problem, you can post it on the Google group. I'll stop right here, go and practice these concepts, and we are going to study a lot of other stuff related to UX and UI, related to designing. I'll see you in the next class.